have done it. They've gone all the way through the district tournament, all the way through the region tournament. Now they won the sub-state tournament. Folks, we will play somebody sometime Thursday at the Murphy Center State Tournament.
Any indication about these crowds, this is going to be maybe the best.
Then from there on the state tournament, here again, you know, I went up there, I had in mind who I wanted to draw, and you always do, and I had in mind who I didn't want to draw, that I didn't think we matched up too well with, and that was Dixon County. And that's who we drew. That presented some matchup problems for us.
Mr. Dunn, administration had planned a big pep rally send-off here at school. As it would turn out, we had a snow day that day.
Went to the city administration building.
So Mr. Dunn, a lot of the faculty and staff just tried to pull together something there at the last minute, and we met at the city administration building.
Our County Executive Ed Martin.
Wish you good luck on your trip today. Have a safe trip and beat Dixon County tonight.
They gave us goodie bags because we were going to stay in the hotel for 3 nights.
Let's see, this is the low-fat one. Coach Joyner.
And Mr. Dunn mentioned about Coach of the Year. I mean, I can't take any credit for that. I just thank the Lord for giving me the opportunity and the ability to do this job. And these girls behind me are the ones that get the job done, and they're the ones that deserve all the credit. But we thank y'all, and we'll see you about 5:30.
The only place that we played at more than we played at Lawrence County High School's Ralph Vincent Memorial Gym is Murphy Center. That's our second home floor. That's our home away from home. Get up there and defend it.
We have the draw that following Sunday afternoon, and we draw Dixon County. We're going to play them on a Thursday.
Our hats are off.
Yeah, our first game against Dixon County was a true test, boy.
We had actually gone as a team to the state tournament the year before and had seen them play.
Dixon County had a big girl. She could play. She was going to be a tough matchup for us.
Amanda Stringer, she looks like Mutt and Jeff there. She's going to give away a whole lot of height, number 24.
It's difficult to simulate that situation in practice.
I can remember in practice before that with Randy down in the post. I mean, I can remember actually having a broom down there trying to, in some shooting drills. This is what it's kind of going to look like.
Yes, Amanda Stringer, she was one of the tall post players, and yeah, definitely intimidating. I mean, I was 5'10". We put on the paper that I was 5'11", but I was 5'10".
You've got Winnie and them looking up like this right here.
Knowing that we were going in to face a 6'6" girl, we knew that we were going to be in for a challenge, but at the same time, we had already seen that height when we were in Ohio at the Christmas tournament.
It wasn't just her. There were a couple other really, really good players that could shoot the ball really well.
Ball tip, controlled by Dixon County. They're taking on the attack. Number 12, Shalita Harper, drive, baseline, throws it up, and then Harper.
She was one super tall, you know, just grabbed the ball and could turn and look anywhere. but you just have to think, okay, maybe I can be quicker, you know, maybe I can be smarter and strategic about where I am and where I'm playing defense.
If she got the ball, she was going to turn and score. We did a lot of dropping. Brandy played behind her, but we had people dropping and helping.
Brandy, she didn't back down from anybody.
So our defense was the key, but the other thing we encouraged at halftime is she is a big girl, so we had to beat them down the floor. So there was an emphasis on pushing the ball more.
But what finally turned it was just the full court pressure to where the ball never did get down there to her. And their press break was really, she would get on the elbow and they would just throw it to her. And then she would just hit people, hit runners. Their press break was unique. We can't stop that, just let her have it. And then we just tried, and she threw it away a couple of times. We picked it off a couple of times and scored. And then once you're down, the pressure's on you a little bit.
Katie Smith has 17, and this Lawrence County crowd has gone crazy. Kayla Goodman down low inside by Hartsfield, and Hartsfield has 4 by Amanda Stringer. As they got the shot away, there was a steal by Katie Smith that fell off, and I believe that sucker would have counted at the buzzer had it gone through. 42, Lawrence County, 36, Dixon County.
We honestly probably had 5 guards. Let's just be real, you know. But Wendy and Brandy, when they were in there, they played big.
But again, the girls just played tremendous defense and finished that game up again on the free throw line. That was big for us. Look, this is the first time Lawrence County High School's been to the state tournament in about 30 years, but I did not say they'd never won a game. And I had intentionally not told them that because I didn't want them to even be thinking about that.
Lawrence County band, the only band that's been here the whole tournament, and they paid their way to get in themselves. I think that's great.
Our band was phenomenal. I mean, I will consider our band our 6th man.
The Lawrence County High School band, Big Gold Machine, just an amazing force. And I don't know if any other schools brought their band to the state tournament, but I just couldn't imagine basketball without the band.
They were like, we were so close with Mr. Boston and Mr. Freeman, and you know, we would strategize on what songs we would play for running out.
Yeah, they followed us everywhere, and I cannot imagine having done those games without them there.
The Big Gold Machine, they followed us everywhere that we went, and people from all over would talk about that because they came to the district tournament. Of course, not many. I guess we were the only one that, you know, ever did that. But Darryl Boston, he was our band director at the time, and he got into it as much as anybody. And I don't know that he could focus on, you know, doing his job from being into the game and yelling at the refs and everything else.
I think anyone that ever played against us would be as amazed about our band as they were our team.
Yeah, the band was obviously, they were tremendous. They were great at pep rallies. They were great at games.
A great job by the Lawrence County High School Band, the Big Gold Machine. Tonight they're under direction of Doyle Freeman. Sometimes Darryl Boston directs the Big Gold Machine.
Mr. Freeman taught me a lot of things. He taught me how to be a band director. He taught me how to treat people with respect and to do the right thing even when no one was watching.
From the desk of Dunn, the Big Gold Machine playing the Wildcats fight song. No single piece of music has ever whipped a mass of people into a wild frenzy as consistently as our band did in Murfreesboro with our fight song.
The fight song actually came probably in 1979, 79, 80 when I was a freshman. It's from a tune called Swing March. And I remember Mr. Freeman calling and having the Swing March rearranged to become our fight song. So the fight song we currently have now here at Lawrence County High School, Mr. Freeman had it arranged for us. Now, how he came up with that piece of music to rearrange, I don't know, but Mr. Freeman had that done specifically for the Big Gold Machine in 1979.
I think we had probably the best band in the country at that moment, our senior year. They came to every game, sat over there, came to all of our state games. And you know, that's not a cheap trip.
No, we didn't stay in hotels. We traveled back and forth each and every night.
There was no 840 then.
Very different than driving to Murfreesboro.
840 on a bus would have been a dream.
I can remember after the region championship just looking up at them and pointing and thanking them for being there because it was so important to us.
Oh, some of the songs that we would play, of course, the run-out songs, the girls always ran out to Gonna Fly Now, the Rocky theme. And we'd always go into Hey Baby and Land of a Thousand Dances. Louie Louie, The Wanderer was a big hit.
And I remember being down on the floor there at Murphy Center, and Mr. Boston had taught the band the MTSU fight song.
Public announcer there, who I've become great friends with since the state, his name is Chip Walters, and we would be playing, and sometimes we'd be talking on top of his announcements because, you know, they have a script they must follow. And every time that would happen, I'd always look down at him and hold my hands up and say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And finally, we got us a communication system down, and I thought, you know, if he's going to work with us this way, I need to do something special for him.
When they played the MTSU fight song just at one of their downtimes, I remember the PA announcer just saying, you know, he perked up, and other people in the crowd perked up. But that's just an indication of just some extra effort of stuff that they did, but that's just what they did.
It just really set the tone and the mood and the atmosphere, so that's very important.
Our band just would work again with our cheerleaders just to get our crowd into the game and at the right times and at the opportune times. after that Dixon County win in the quarterfinals, we advanced to the semifinals where we're going to play Oak Ridge.
So playing Oak Ridge in our second game, that to me should have been the state championship game.
And probably everyone expected Oak Ridge to win that year, except for the folks that live in Lawrence County.
I remember watching them at the state tournament. Like, he would always take us, even though we weren't in it. We would go and watch the teams. And I remember just, in the back of my mind, like, wow, like we're going to play Oak Ridge. This is a big game.
Those were in the days when you had to go swap tapes, and you didn't just log on and do it like they do now. After we won the first game, Mickey Dunn, I don't know how far he drove, but he drove to meet a coach from Maryville to get me an Oak Ridge tape. And he brought it back. He knocked on my hotel door. I don't know, it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I get up and I start watching the tape because we're getting ready to play Oak Ridge. But he didn't have a whole lot to say. He just handed it to me and I said, man, I really appreciate this. And he said, I think I'm going to go get some sleep. But that was the kind of guy Mickey was.
The second game up there, we played Oak Ridge. They had a girl, I think that's when Jennifer Wilson was playing at Oak Ridge, and she was a tremendous player.
They're the defending state champions, a lot of tradition, a lot of trips to the state tournament for them.
Oak Ridge, Coach Jill Pruden, their coach, had been there. She's been there for a long time, or was there for a long time. Successful winning tradition. So it was nothing for them. They came into Murphy Center expecting to win the state championship.
I know we were the visiting team that night. All through the tournament, we had been the home team. And so that was in a few people's minds. We wore our purple uniforms that night.
And that probably what should have been the finals that game. We were the 2 best teams really that year. Because she was a post player who could shoot that, that mid-range jumper well.
It was just a battle, the whole game, and they were pressing us, and we were pressing them.
Again, it was a relatively low-scoring game. You had 2 really good defensive teams.
In my opinion, probably the best defensive team we've played all year long.
Turnover, Oak Ridge. I've never seen Oak Ridge turn the ball over this much. That's 14 turnovers here.
That's fun. You know how fun that is when you can force that many turnovers from a good team?
Close game, just back and forth all night.
You know, every little thing, detail in that game mattered. It was a game that could have went either way.
They were going to have one last shot, and they needed a 3 to tie it, which helped us because we could kind of guard out on the 3-point line. Girls just did a tremendous job putting a lot of pressure, not fouling, and they get off a shot, but it's not a good shot because we had forced them out, and it was not the person they wanted taking the shot. When they ran their set, we had cut off the pass that they wanted to make, and you could kind of tell it just disrupted the whole play, which was, of course, what you want to do. But the girls just did a great job of putting a lot of pressure, and again, defending and preserving that win.
Against 16 points against Oak Ridge. I wasn't the big scorer through the season or anything. I mean, by all means. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't care as long as we were winning. Did not care about points. But during tournament time, I don't know what clicked, but I feel like I probably turned up my game a little bit and played a little bit better in the tournaments.
That was probably the best team that we've faced in the state tournament.
The cheerleaders put in a tremendous amount of time. They've been here since 4 o'clock this afternoon, for example, making signs down in the hallway and encouraging the girls and making stuff for them, just doing everything they can. Of course, Brenda Wright, my sister, but I have to brag on her a little bit. She's as hard-working a cheerleader sponsor and supporter of athletics and girls in general that you'll find anywhere.
But she taught us cheerleading really wasn't about you, that you were there to do a job and to lift others up.
We had the best cheerleaders, and we all got along.
We had the best group of cheerleaders. We were so close with the cheerleaders. There was no separation. They cheered their hearts out for us, and we appreciated it. They would bring us little gifts before each game.
Now, I know just from watching film, after the games, you would see during a timeout, our band would be playing, our cheerleaders would be scattered throughout on the floor, up into the aisles, but just really doing all that they could to keep the crowd into it.
And if you've been to the Murphy Center, there's about 6 feet where there's nothing. It's like the floor, and then the seats don't start until eye level, right? And so it's weird to be a cheerleader because your job is to get the crowd up, but like you're on a floor and you can see like the first few rows. And I can remember Miss Wright looking at us and she's like, y'all got to get up there. And it was like, oh, okay. So here we go. And we would literally divide and conquer. Like the fight song would start playing and we would literally just run.
Cheerleaders going in
up
all
the
directions.
bleachers. And it was amazing until like the 3rd quarter. And then you were like,
Your legs were burning.
Are we really going to do the fight song again?
They were so important to the enthusiasm and the excitement and the motivation.
And a lot of the selections that they would dance to, they would actually hear and learn back in the summer at their cheer camps that they would attend. And they'd come back and they'd say, can you play this? And we would try to find it.
The official name of that is Moving. I mean, it's very creative. And really, it's not that
super
hard.
easy because everybody is leaning
just
on the person
everyone
behind.
loves it because, it moves across the floor. But I think that had been done several years before. It was not new to us at all. And then we had another one where we called the hay. And then when we got done, maybe it's not the best sportsmanship in the entire world, but like when we got done, we would all be in a big huddle, and then we would be like, the cats are coming after, boom, boom, you.
I mean, we had been projecting our voices towards the home
As
team.
a mom now, I look at that and I'm like, oh, that was terrible.
That's kind of snotty.
They loved what they did, and they loved supporting us, and we could feel that. And they would just be into the games just as much as anybody. But we had a great relationship with the cheerleaders and a lot of great memories with them.
Do you want us to do a cheer? I'm just kidding.
As I've mentioned before, there's just a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't realize.
We were talking about the other day about how hard working the team is. Of course, there's a lot of other people that a lot of people know about, but a lot of people don't.
Mr. C.M. Robbins videoed all of our games for us. He took great pride in doing a great job with that. Again, I could count on CM. He was always there. A lot of times he rode the bus with us as well. Mr. Elliott Clayton was our bus driver, and it's really hard to describe the relationship that he had with our girls if you weren't there, if you didn't see it. They wanted to ride the bus.
I know when we went to the state tournament, we had the option of, getting a charter bus, because that's a cool thing, what a lot of teams do, and we didn't want it unless he could drive it. He just enjoyed driving us everywhere, got us there safely.
I was up there with them, yeah. Where if they went and eat, and they got on the bus, and we went to eat, and we come back, and if they had to go practice somewhere else, we got on the bus, and we went, whatever they had to do, I done it for them.
He is just the best. I don't know if he secretly had some earplugs or what, but I mean, we were so loud on the bus.
I think back now of how loud we probably were, and he always had a smile on his face. He was a staple. I can't imagine having ridden a bus that he didn't drive actually during those times.
I guess I was a #1 fan for him, because they took care of me, and I tried to take care of them.
We would a lot of times ride it on the way home because we enjoyed riding it so much, and we really wanted to do that more than we wanted to ride home with our parents. So.
Mr. Elliott is pretty easy going until they had that article in the paper about Miss Joyner during the state tournament. She made some comment about being the Lady Cats' #1 fan. Mr. Elliott said no.
I ain't gonna forget it, and I never will forget it, and I hope they don't forget that I was their #1 fan.
He did a tremendous job of just encouraging our kids. When they would get off, I mean, he would have an encouraging word for them, and then always congratulating or consoling, whatever the case may be, after the game.
We have so many memories with him, and it just would not have been the same without him.
The Lady Cats would await the winner of the other semifinal matchup between the #2 team in the state, Memphis Hamilton, and their old friends from Columbia, a team Lawrence County had already beaten 4 times that season.
Like I said, Columbia and Hamilton had to play to see who was going to the state championship.
I stayed and watched some of it, but I wanted to get the girls fed and back to the hotel. If it's Columbia, I mean, we know each other very well.
I do remember some of that game, and honestly, I was thinking we're going to be playing Columbia again.
Columbia was up. Memphis Hamilton had come back from being 11 down late in the game.
Because Hamilton was losing and came back and won that game.
But I thought, hey, we're going to play Columbia for the 5th time. Nobody's going to remember if you're 4-1 against them.
If Columbia would have beat Hamilton, there is no way we were going to lose that game.
If we had played Columbia for the 5th time instead of playing Hamilton, I feel like we would have won.
We would still be state champions.
By the time we played them for the 3rd time, everybody says it's hard to beat a team 3 times. And so we just always wanted to prove people wrong. So once we beat them the 4th time, I mean, we still were saying it's hard to beat a team 4 times, but we did that. And it's hard to beat a team 5 times, but if that's the case, we're going to do it again.
That would have been interesting. It also psychologically might not have been a good thing for us.
On the one hand, I wanted to play Columbia again, and on the other hand, I didn't, because, I mean, eventually.
We played them. And most of the games we played them that year was close.
At the same time, I was confident that our girls had their number.
If they were going to beat us, it was not going to be that one. I don't think any of us really wanted to play them again. I'm glad it was not a 5th time.
Lawrence County High School.
Instead of choosing between athletics and academics, I found I could combine the two, which has taught me responsibility.
Seeing Kayla Goodwin win the A.F. Bridges Scholarship, the only starter not to make the all-tournament team, was also the only player in TSSAA's history to play in a championship game and win the Bridges Award.
I was always the resident sign maker. I was blessed
Mm-hmm.
with the ability to make bubble letters. I mean, I guess that's a life skill, right?
Yes, very good.
And so I can remember before the game started, Miss Wright came over and she's like, Courtney, come here. And I follow her back in this dark hallway in the back of the Murphy Center, and she has like this tube, it's white paper. And she was like, here's some markers. I want you to make this sign that says 1998 TSSAA Girls State Champions. And she was like, don't you tell a soul. Like, I want us to have something to go on the side of the bus in the event that this happens, but I'm not going to make a production of it, and I'm not going to involve very many people because I don't want to jinx us. So,
I didn't know about that. So
yeah, I know. I didn't tell you. She'd be so proud of me.
Foxy Griffin and Jim Thompson here for the championship game of 1997-98 season. The Lady Cats coming to the ball game with a record of 31-3. Hamilton is 33-1.
Bring it. Let's do it.
In the locker room before we went out, Coach Childress was the one that always came and got us for warm-ups. And she came in there, and we were all in a circle holding hands. And each one of us went around the circle and gave reasons why we felt like that we should win this game.
And, you know, it was the culmination of all our hard work. That whole year had led up to that very moment that we had planned to get to.
Just trying to reflect on the year that we've had. Let's end this with a win. This is what we have been fighting for. This is what we want. Let's go out and let's do this.
I can remember before the game, we met the girls from Memphis Hamilton out in the tunnel. They really tried to intimidate us, and they walked past us, and I remember a couple of them nudging us with their elbow.
But I remember them calling us names, like saying a few choice words.
And they basically just stared us down the whole time, and we felt like they were trying to intimidate us.
Just like, that just happened. Like, and I think it kind of fueled us.
I don't know that we were intimidated. I know that they, if anything, made us mad.
We knew we were facing a really, really athletic team.
They describe them as athletic, physical, less structured. So with that comes the factor of unpredictability.
I remember, you know, kind of not being able to predict what they were doing. You know, they may be shooting outside, they may be driving in, they may, you know, they played a different type of basketball for sure.
District 8 AAA is a slower game, more structured, more plays run.
As we started the game, they jump out 6-0. But for whatever reason, we had always started slow. I mean, every game through the region and the state, we had kind of started out a little slow.
Lady Cat shooting a little cold. Here goes Hamilton driving. Layup good. Hamilton runs out 6-0.
And we respond on a 12-0 run.
But here come the Lady Cats. Saxon's going to drive, stop, jumps, good. Good pump fake, saved it. But Katie Smith takes it away. Katie wants to run. Katie's going to drive. Katie's fouled pretty hard.
There was one hard foul on Katie during that 12-0 run. And that girl that fouled her, I mean, just whacked her.
And Katie will go to the free throw line.
And then she bumps her at the free throw line as she's walking back. I mean, there was a message sent there. But here again, they didn't realize who they were dealing with.
Yeah, and it's hard, like I said, a real hard foul there by Nolan. She really hacked Katie, and it's like she's talking to her a little bit as she goes by. I tell you what, Katie's not one that I'd want to challenge.
Oh, they were bumping into us.
I think it just made us mad.
Oh, here's turnover still. Wendy Hartsfield to Mel Saxon. Saxon's going to drive, put a layup, good. As Katie Smith got the layup, good, and she's fouled. Yeah, slipped inside on an inbound play, and we do it. No good. Rebound taken by Saxon. Saxon put it up, good. Good job.
12-6, and then from that point, it's just kind of back and forth.
Score is 12-10. Lady Cats. Here's a three by Hartsfield. Good. 5-point lead, Lawrence County. Here goes Nolan. Layup, good. Just goes inside to Hillman. Layup by them. A charge on Hillman. A charge on Hamilton. The first quarter score, Lawrence County 17, Hamilton 12.
To have somebody that was quicker than Kayla, than me, and Melody all was something that was new and different.
They were really hurting us. Their point guard was penetrating into the lane, dumping it to the post player who was finishing, and that was giving us a lot of trouble.
And the pass is intercepted by Miranda Wallace. Miranda's going to drive down, stop, her layup, good. Good job, Miranda. Lane. Now Sachs is going to drive in there, put it up, no good. Her shot is blocked, and here comes Memphis Hamilton running down. A layup, good.
I think we started out playing full court man-to-man to start the game, and I told Coach Joyner, I'm not quick enough to keep up with this kid.
Yeah, that's where we were getting beat, you know, and again, it's that one-on-one matching up man-to-man. We couldn't do that without getting into foul trouble.
We got in the bonus quickly, and they fouled us 2 or 3 times right before half.
And it is important we stay as close as possible at halftime because the other end of the floor is our better end. We've had much better shooting luck on the opposite end, what would be the west end of Murphy Center.
Brandy's second free throw, good.
We hit our free throws, and we were able to go in at the half up 1.
As the half comes to an end, Lawrence County with the lead right here. Lawrence County leading 31-30 over Hamilton.
I was concerned from the night before because the way they came back against Columbia down 11, they started hitting threes.
The first half coming out, playing man-to-man, that wasn't working so great.
I remember at one point just thinking, we really need to go to a zone. We would have to contend with that three-point shooting, but what was killing us at that point was the penetration into the lane.
Mickey Dunn is joining us, helped us with the broadcast all year, former coach and now TSSAA official. I guess that's why you're not in your purple or gold tonight, huh?
That's right. I tell you, it was hard to wear this suit and not wear the purple and gold tonight, but I had to. You've had 2 teams with 5 good players that have absolutely gone at each other, tooth and toenail, and the referees have stood back and said, we're not going to decide this ball game. We're going to let them go after each other, and it has been an extremely physical ball game. When you take the ball to the basket, it's not for the faint of heart because it's going to be tough when you get up underneath there.
In the first half, Hamilton has blocked 6 shots. Melody Saxon, who's had a tremendous first half for Lawrence County, in order to get a shot off, you're going to have to do something.
Well, you said a mouthful right there. Melody Saxon is 4 of 9. Melody has given them some fakes. She's given them head fakes. She'll give them head, shoulders, body. Melody has gone through the cracks. This is not the first basketball game they've ever played in or the first tough opponents they've ever seen. That they will find a way. As people have been telling me all week, what they love about the Lady Cats is they find a way to win. And I just got to believe that here in this last 16 minutes, they're going to find a way.
We are back at the gym, almost ready for the second half.
I really wanted to have a little bit of a cushion before we went to that zone. I'm playing over in my mind, we jump in a zone, they pop 2 threes, and, what happens? In my mind, I was like, okay, I want a 5-point lead.
Brandy to Kayla Goodwin for a shot, good.
They take the ball down, Katie picks up her 3rd foul. And I was like, oh, me, that's not good.
But the 3rd foul on Katie Smith.
Yeah, and that's not a good foul for us.
County by 1. Brandy Bean put one up, no good. Put back up by Saxon, good.
Good job. Good backside rebound position by Mel. Went up and got the ball. Good contested shot, but she got it in the basket. We're still up by 3.
Yeah, now Hodges comes back to pick her up. Saxon drives. Saxon shot, good.
Mel's just unreal.
We come back, we go up by 5, and I signal to the girls, let's go zone.
I remember us going into a zone, and it pretty much shut them down.
Coach Joyner made some adjustments, and we went to the zone, and well, let's just say they could not hit the broadside of a barn from 3-point range. So it was a phenomenal call on coach's part.
Nolan to Hodges. Trying to penetrate the lane, can't do it, and travel.
So yeah, it was just, we're going to go a zone. We went a 1-2-2 and we flattened it out. So it looked like a 3-2. And that just basically put a line of defense across there so that it took away the gaps in the defense.
We've gone to a zone to cut off Nolan's penetration.
Here's a shot by Memphis, no good. They shot it over the zone and missed it, and the rebound goes to Brandy Bean.
Good move by Coach Joyner. That's going to help cut off the penetration out front.
That really frustrated them. And, they didn't score the rest of the quarter.
It was just like Mel came alive and broke out of a shell and just dominated.
Mel Saxon, and I say it on the video all the time, she was unreal that night.
Mel Saxon for 3. 8-point lead, Lawrence County. Mel is just, she is just unreal tonight, especially right here starting the third quarter.
Mel was just, as we all say, in the zone.
You know, it's hard to describe the zone that Mel was in.
Mel was just in the zone. I mean, she was just, you've heard of people, saying that just a figure of speech that somebody's in the zone. I mean, she literally was in the zone. She was unconscious.
And Mel was on fire. Her confidence was like, I mean, anything she threw up, it was like, get the ball to Mel.
I always ask what got into me in that second half. And I'm like, man, the basketball gods were with me that half. I think 12 or 14 points straight at one point in the third quarter.
They called 2 or 3 timeouts in that stretch.
Hamilton wants time, 44-36.
Their coach was very upset in that game. I do remember that, pointing fingers, and I was like, ooh, I wouldn't want to be in that huddle right now.
After one of them, they throw it in, and Mel just comes right behind her and steals it. And we go the other way and score.
Marshfield in the lane, gives to Mel Saxon, gunning.
Mel for 3, unreal! 11-point lead, Lawrence County. Mel Saxon with 21 points.
It was a different kid every night, and that was her night. It was her time. She was in a different galaxy that night.
Mel averaged 9 points a game.
Saxon only averaged 9 points a game during the season. She's got 22 tonight.
Just smooth, calm, hitting shots from everywhere.
I mean, I was just an average player, and I don't know. I mean, I just couldn't miss. I mean, I think I got one rebound and I threw it up left-handed. It hit so high off the backboard and went in. I mean, with my left hand, which I don't shoot left-handed.
Try. And the ball knocked free. She gets it back, shoots and misses. And who else but Saxon comes out of there with a rebound, and she's fouled.
I don't know what the coach told Saxon for the ball game, but boy, it got her going, whatever it is.
Saxon has scored 14 points here in the third quarter, 25 for the game. There's a long pass out ahead to Smith. She's going to drive for a layup and score.
Saxon threw that ball the length of the floor.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, she ended her high school career, with the best game of her career, and it was just special, not just for her, but special for all of us. We don't know what happened, but we're glad it did.
30, 40 years from now, we'll still be talking about what Melody Saxon did at the state tournament and the state championship game.
I had a great third quarter. It was fun.
We have the ball to start the fourth. Inbound it to Katie. She hits a jumper.
Quarter outscoring Hamilton. There's a shot by Smith.
Our crowd, it did seem as we stretched the lead, they could feel that we're getting it. We're there, it's our turn. And sometimes the crowd, I think, will relax, but that night it just intensified.
Smith drives off the glass, scores!
So the more we scored, the louder it got. That crowd was probably a sixth defender for us.
Boy, look at the tremendous crowd, Jim.
Oh, this is unreal. I'm sure the people can hear it in the background. I'd hate to guess how many people we got here, but it's got to be well over 2,000, maybe 3,000. And they are loud right now. It's something else. We're controlling the gym. Hamilton probably doesn't have 75 people here.
I feel bad for them. The band just really blew them out of the water. Any timeout here they would get tuned up, and so there's no way that you could be heard over the band and our crowds.
They show a little life, hit a three-pointer at one point. We come down, Brandy drives, gets fouled, hits the bucket, hits the free throw. It just took care of that three-pointer.
Bean driving, shot with the left hand, scores, and she's fouled. Bean will go to the line. Foul is on Hillman.
I can't imagine being in their shoes, because not only were they having to deal with us, they were having to deal with the loud band, and now they're having to deal with the fans, and there was no hearing anything on the court.
Here's a pass coming in to Wendy Hartsfield. Layup good.
They lost Wendy completely on the inbounds play backside. Give credit to Kayla Goodwin. She found her and got her the ball for the easy layup.
Larry Taus now works for TSSAA. Just gave me the attendance, 8,825. How many of those you think are from Lawrenceburg, Jack?
Well, a lot of them, Foxy, a whole lot of them.
And I felt like everybody was there to watch us. Like it felt almost like a home game. I mean, we took that gym over. It was like you just looked and it was just like a sea of purple and gold, which was the coolest feeling as a player.
Brandy Bean gonna gun, good.
64-41, Lawrence County, 23-point lead, and we're still attacking the basket, which is great.
We just didn't slow up because, again, all that's going through my mind is they came from 11 down in a couple of minutes last night. We just can't let up.
We definitely didn't try to hold the ball, and that was probably because I don't know that we were capable of holding the ball against their quickness.
My goodness, I wouldn't have had the heart to tell them to slow down anyway. It wouldn't have been my call to start with, but I think everybody was enjoying the experience.
And the girls were having a good time. And I remember at one point, one of them said, we need a timeout. I mean, they just needed a little bit of a rest. And we called the timeout, I think with about 4 minutes left.
Don't want to jinx anything, but at approximately 11:30 tonight, there's going to be a big gathering down on the square. What? About 11:30 tonight, a big gathering down on the square. All you folks listening at home want to greet the Lawrence County High Lady Cats. We want you to be there.
Okay, a big pep rally tonight at 11:30 if the Lady Cats win on the Lawrenceburg Square. Boy, oh boy, I think the band's going to be there. The big gold machine. As Katie Smith will dribble through full court pressure. Brandy Bean going to shoot good.
We're not letting off at all. Brandy Bean pulls up for about a 10-foot jump shot. We're up 25 points, still attacking the basket. And we've got us a state championship. It's right here.
It's really hard to describe, but they played a real physical team, but yet they matched it.
And Smith blocks the shot of Hillman.
You know now who the new champion's going to be, though.
I think so. Bridgeforth for three. No good. Rebound Bean. Throws it ahead. Saxon, here she comes. Breakaway layup. Nobody there to guard her, and it is good. Saxon with 31.
I didn't really feel comfortable until about 2 minutes left.
All the subs are coming into the ball game. Starting five are all leaving. Standing ovation from this wonderful crowd from Lawrence County. What a night.
Yeah, the emotions of coming out of the game right there at the end, I think it was like sinking in, like this is happening. I remember trying to like hug everybody.
Coming out, knowing this is the last game that I'm ever gonna play in this uniform for this team, it's bittersweet. I mean, it's sad, but it is bittersweet.
That's just a feeling that I can't really describe. It was just basically just like overwhelming, just to know that what we had worked for from the time that we were 8 years old, was now reality.
We're hugging, we're crying, we're laughing, we're screaming, all of the emotions. It's finally ours.
And I just remember the emotion, how happy and joyful. I do remember all that flood of emotion.
The behind the scenes workers, those girls that had put in the minutes all year long and needed to get a taste of that too.
Okay, in there for the Lady Cats, Trish Rowling, a senior. Bryn Thompson, Mandy Edwards, Ashley Johnston, and Katie Schultz.
And, getting our T-shirts, get to put those on and just.
I don't know where the shirts came from. I saw shirts, there was hats. We had no idea that those were being made.
I turned around and they're all putting on these gold T-shirts, and I thought, well, the state tournament must be providing those. I had no idea, but I found out later that Fox Sporting Goods had printed those up. I heard Mickey say that, you just have people that have faith in you.
He's got on a TSSAA state champion T-shirt already. How do you get one of those things this quick? I tell you what, you have people like Ronald Fox that have faith in you. That's what.
I remember the chant in the Murphy Center, Party on the Square. Do you remember that? I have this distinct memory of the whole crowd chanting Party on the Square.
72-47, 1 minute to go. I hope all of Lawrence County's on the square tonight, about 11:30. Whenever we get in there, you'll hear us coming from about Columbia.
If it ever comes up in conversation and I talk about winning the state championship, I'm always quick to point out that we were AAA, and that was the biggest there was at the time, and that so we were the best of the best.
Once the buzzer goes off, at this point, we are state champions, AAA of Tennessee. No one can take this away. No one is better than us. We are the best team right now.
It's all a blur. From the minute the buzzer went off, I can, feel the hugs, the screaming from everybody.
Like, I can remember my dad always tell me, like, you always act like you've been there before, right? I mean, it was out the window. We were complete maniacs.
First thing that goes through my mind is relief, because it was a journey and the journey's over now. Then for me, I was excited and just taking in their excitement.
I remember screaming, I remember being hoarse, and I guess, I was just so happy. You could just see the joy on Coach Joyner's face.
I remember just seeing the joy and relief on Coach Joyner's face as well.
I mean, the first thing I did was I gave Coach a big hug. To me, obviously, he got us there,
Mr. Dunn was on the TSSAA Board of Control.
I didn't really realize how involved he was with TSSAA until we get to the Murphy Center. And it's like, why is Mr. Dunn wearing a suit?
Members of the TSSAA Board of Control.
He was going to be presenting the awards no matter who was playing.
And then our cheerleaders ended up winning the Spirit Award, and that was very special for them because they had worked hard too.
Our cheerleaders got the Spirit Trophy.
Do you remember the discussion before the Spirit Awards? Because we had seen the single A and the double A winners beforehand. And I can remember seeing the cheerleaders get their award and being like, y'all, we are not acting like that.
Lawrence County High
Ran out there like fools. We are not going to act like that. Like, we were ridiculous. But I mean, it was just the moment. Like, we were thrilled just to
get to be a part of it.
Just to have a part, yeah.
And we were happy to win the award, but it was just, we were so happy for our team and for our community. It was just icing on the cake.
Yeah. And then you just look around in Murphy Center and seeing all of our fans and the excitement. And it was really a sense of, we did something for Lawrence County High School.
Coach Willie Joyner getting his plaque first, coach of the championship Lawrence County High Wildcats. Big hug by Mickey Dunn.
Coach Joyner took his son Fowler Joyner out with him.
He was down there, and he walked out there with me to get the coach's award, and that was special to me. He and my daughter were always around the girls, and they just loved it. They made a lot of the road trips and things, and they loved it.
Mr. Dunn is who got to present the trophy because he was on the Board of Controls or something like that at the time.
And it was really cool because, you had Mickey Dunn. He was part of the, the board and everything, and being able to give us the trophy. Someone from our school, being able to give it to us, that was a cool moment.
More from the desk of Dunn. Getting to present the state championship trophy to our team. I still get choked up when I think about it.
Mr. Dunn getting to be the one to present the trophy to us, it was a really cool experience.
And it will forever be in my memory watching the girls run out there and him holding that gold ball up. I didn't think he was going to let it go, but he did finally give it to them.
Lawrence County Lady Cats have won the championship as Katie Smith and all the other Lady Cats come out to receive the championship trophy.
And then what they did was so typical for them, that they walked over to our crowd. They didn't stay out in the center of the floor. They walked over there they were pointing up to the crowd. And again, just I think a thank you, but also just, hey, this is for all of us.
Point at the band. Point at the band. Yeah. Because they're, I mean, just I love the vibe of having the band there.
Lawrence County winning the state championship, the girls' state championship, for the first time in the history of the school right here.
As they introduced the all-tournament team, you know, they started coming out, and our crowd was just roaring each time one of our girls came out.
Lawrence County, Brandy
Here's being named to it, Brandy Bean out of Lawrence County High School. Unofficially, Brandy had 13 points.
Here's Wendy Hartsfield being named to the all-tournament team also.
Boy, Wendy played great, and she wanted this so badly. Here's Mel Saxon being named to the all-tournament team also. So that's 3 already for the Lawrence County High Lady Cats.
From Lawrence County, Katie Smith.
Here's Katie Smith. Katie Smith, that's 4 Lady Cats from the championship team that's on the all-tournament team here.
From the desk of Dunn. Seeing 4 starters, Wendy Hartsfield, Katie Smith, Brandy Bean, and Melody Saxon make the all-state tournament team. This is a very rare honor, especially for a team that is, quote, too little.
And it was just amazing. And so I was happy for them, but I guess on the greedy side, I was thinking deep down, I hope Mel gets me one of them t-shirts.
And one funny thing about Mel is she wanted to make sure she got her dad a shirt. But in the pictures, in some of the pictures and videos, she has like a huge handful of shirts. And so we go back and we're like, why did Mel take all the t-shirts? Because she had like one for her dad, and then she had like a whole stack full. So we don't know what she was doing with them.
Because I had told her, I said, Mel, if y'all get another t-shirt, I want a t-shirt. And she was always like, sure, Boston, I'll get you one.
And throughout all of the pictures, you know, she's got those extra t-shirts in her arms.
But we still laugh about that because she made sure she got her dad a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, Mel had a great tournament. I was super proud of her.
We knew who the MVP was going to.
And I don't think anybody doubted that she would be the MVP.
And now the presentation of the MVP plaque. Obviously, our winner had an outstanding tournament in the championship game. 31 points for
Once again, from the desk of Dunn, hearing Melody named Tournament MVP, a great honor to a great person after her greatest game.
Points and all that. I had no idea how many points I had. No, nothing at all. So here it is, they're calling out who's made the all-tournament team. So I'm standing there, and they're calling it MVP. I didn't even realize that. I think Wendy or somebody had to push me to be like, oh, and I'm like, oh, okay.
They've announced the MVP, and it's Mel Saxon. Melody Saxon has won the most valuable player trophy.
Melody gets called out, and it almost surprises her. Like, you know, me, I'm getting this.
What I recall is, you know, I knew Mel had a tremendous third quarter, but when they announced her as the MVP, they said 31 points. And I remember looking at Margie Mann, and I said, really? And she said, oh, yeah.
I'm so proud for her. She deserved it.
But she completely deserved it.
She deserved it so much, and we were so happy that it was her and that she was getting that award.
You know, Mother had the opportunity to play on a state championship team 40 years prior to that, so she knew how excited that we were and how special it was.
Boy, Coach Willie Joyner, what a great job he did tonight, changing defenses, Coach of the Year. Let's hear from Coach Joyner.
Took them all the way. I tell you, Jackie, we just thank the Lord for such a tremendous win. I just don't know how to describe it. It's just a thrill. I mean, in the way we did it the second half, came out and just all out. And the girls just really had fun the second half, and it was thrilling to watch. And it got comfortable about the last minute and a half, but it really was. I'm so proud for them. They worked so hard.
And, you know, people telling them they're too small and they can't do it, and they got the job done, and I'm so proud of them. There's nothing else for anybody to prove. Hey, they did a good job. I'm so proud of them. Your 100th victory. Yeah, you're right. It's what I'll remember, that's for sure. Way to go.
After things started to kind of settle down after the game, the crowd's dispersing a little bit. You know, Mr. Dunn is making plans for a party on the square.
I mean, it is late at night, folks, late at night, and you have tons. It's like everybody left the gym and went, "Whoop, party."
Now we're going downtown for a big party down on the square. We're partying on the square tonight.
But of course, we win the state tournaments, and they're like, "You're going to have a pep rally on the square." So it was like, okay, so what are we going to do when we get there? You know.
Honestly, to take the kids to the pep rally was never a question. And I think if I had have tried to say, "Kids, I need to get you home and get you in bed," they'd have probably twisted my ears off, because they were just as fired up as everybody else. Truthfully, there was no doubt in my mind we were going to the square. We were going to be there.
You know, we've played 3 games in a row, but nobody's tired. Everybody's just still full of energy. We could have played another game that night, I think, if we'd had to.
There was definitely a party going on the bus.
The bus ride home was just crazy the whole time. I mean, we used to wait till we got kind of closer to our destination to cheer, but we started from the time we got on the bus and never stopped. I mean, we were just hooping it up over the seats, jumping up and down. Mr. Elliott, he let us do all that. I don't know how he ever focused on driving, but he let us have fun.
Same thing, Mr. Elliott just driving us on, cheerful and just as excited as we were.
Just being so excited, like cheering on the bus. Mr. Elliott didn't get onto us at all, as he never did.
They was really loud, you know. They got loud.
The bus ride home was loud, jumping. I don't know that any of us sat down or shut up the entire ride. We had the cheerleaders on there with us, and they were leading the cheers, or Brandy was leading the cheers. I'm not sure which.
It was loud. Yeah. We were bananas.
And you know, and I think for myself, I mean, I sat up front. All I wanted to do was I held the trophy. I was just so excited. I mean, it was big.
She was holding it like a baby, like I'm not letting go of it.
And I think there for a moment, Coach finally took the trophy away from us because we almost dropped it. So he took it.
And it's just rocking all the way home. We've got our Lawrenceburg Police Department with escorts, and I know that picked up the closer we got home.
When we won the state championship, we'd be coming back from Murfreesboro, and the cops met us at the Lawrence County line and escorted us right on into down the square down there.
In fact, my wife, Marcia, was our bus driver. And I told her, I said, "You got to beat the team there. We got to hurry. We got to hurry." Because I wanted to have a tunnel, if you will, lined up from wherever Mr. Elliott parked the bus for the players to walk through up to the gazebo with us playing the fight song.
There's only one other time we beat Pulaski one year in football, and we came back and went to the square. This was about 78, 79, somewhere in there. And we did that time. But other than that, that's the only time I've ever seen a spontaneous, pretty spontaneous event like that.
But then you think, like,
It
these
was
people
11:30.
These people are gonna go home.
Yeah.
Like, they have kids, they're going to bed, and it was kind of like we got to the square. And of course, we were the last people at the square because the bus can only drive so fast. And like, we remember seeing all the Lawrence County cars passing us.
But the memory that sticks out in my mind is we came down Highway 43 and we turned on to Highway 64. So we're going west, and I'm up in the front of the bus when we turn on Military. It's just hard to describe what that crowd looked like. I mean, there were kids standing and hanging on the Mexican War Monument down there.
And gosh, little did we know, like, this huge crowd was on the square. I mean, we thought, yeah, our families are there, you know, our parents, our sisters, our brothers, whatever.
We turned left beside where the advocate is, and when we pulled around that corner, we turned, and the whole square was packed full of people. It was like the whole town was there.
It felt like a crazy time to be out doing that, but everybody came and everybody was there.
We turned the corner there and head onto the square and see the crowd. It was just like it ignited our pep rally we were having on the bus.
And just a sea of people that they had to just kind of meander the bus through. The band was there. They were playing when we got off. The cheerleaders were there.
Oh, it was the square was full of people. I mean, it was just unbelievable the amount of people from Lawrence County that was out there and cheering them on. You know.
There were people that have told me that they got out of bed. They had been listening to it on the radio.
The crowd on the square after the ball game. I got there by 11:15 and the place was already full of people. Many of them had gotten out of bed to be there.
I remember singing "We Are the Champions" by Queen, and we belted that song out. It came from the depths of our souls.
We make our way into the gazebo there, and you know, Mr. Dunn, he was at home with a microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand for the TSSAA AAA state champs.
We're chanting, Mr. Dunn's leading cheers, chants.
I mean, we had so much fun. I know I looked like a complete idiot on some of the things we were doing, but at that time, we didn't care what we looked like.
And I remember we all had a chance to talk on the microphone.
But the girls, they don't talk about the game. They get up there and they start doing cheers.
That's what we did. I mean, we had fun with each other.
Something about the little red rooster or something.
There was some rooster dance, and I think that was Brandy Bean.
So the rooster song that, or chant that I love to sing actually, I was trying to remember not long ago like where that came from. When I was younger, probably 7 or 8 years old, I remember going to some cheerleading camps at Franklin County High School. I wanted to be a cheerleader. So that was one of the cheers we did, like as little girls.
I want to thank her parents for sending her to cheerleading camp when she was a little kid, because she was instrumental in leading a lot of those for those games. But I'm glad you didn't keep her in cheerleading camp and you sent her somewhere else.
So it started out and you would say, I had a little rooster and I put him on the fence. And he yelled for Hamilton because he had no sense. Then I bought another rooster and I put him on the fence. You see how it goes. And then you say, finally, that he cheers for the lady cat because he has good sense. And then the last part is the best. I said, a root, a root, a rooty toot toot. A root, a root, a root, a rooty toot toot, a rooty toot toot.
I know I'm looking at Stacy and I'm like, what are they doing? I mean, they're not even talking about the game. They're just doing their cheers.
Gosh, oh, they had that song, the Rooster song. They sang that quite often. They did that. They were just having fun. I mean, they'd worked really hard. They had earned a lot of fun, quite frankly, and they were enjoying it and taking it all in. And I was glad to be a part of that for sure.
I think it was just a continuation of what we were doing on the bus.
Wendy Hartsfield!
The cheers that Brandy and Wendy led that night on the square. For a little while, everyone there was 16 years old, regardless of age.
Well, and I hate that we didn't really thank anybody. We didn't really, I think we're still so, that night on the square, we were still so amped up and just like in the cheering mode.
You're 17-year-old kids. You have never really been interviewed or
had to speak to a crowd or anything like that. Hey, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to celebrate with everyone.
But they just had so much fun that night.
Before, ladies and gentlemen, Kayla Goodwin.
Well, I don't have a cheer or anything.
But up until some folks came off their hips and paid their way in tonight, have paid their own way into every game they've been to play. And that's the Big Gold Machine.
I just remember not wanting that night to ever end. I mean, we just wanted it to go on forever.
And it was so surreal to me, and still really, I don't think I'd grasped the fact that we just won the state championship, just won MVP and all that kind of stuff. I got up and went to work the next morning, like nothing had happened. Wendy's, yeah, for Steve Hester. He was very understanding and a big supporter of women's basketball. But yeah, I did. I went to work, and folks would come in and were like, "You just won the state championship. Why are you working?" I'm like, "I was scheduled to."
And then the next day I remember thinking, it's done.
You know, I remember coming back to school, which was great.
But Miss Mann, she was a huge supporter. In her classroom, she had I don't think it was a recliner, I think it was just a big armchair. And she had 4 of what I call the science tables, you know, the little 2-person tables, and she had pushed them together. That's what we sat in her classroom. She had pushed those together and put this big armchair on top of it. And that was my seat for the next week or so.
I don't remember when this took place, but I told the girls they could shave my head, and they did that.
Don't cut me, Jack.
I don't know how to do that.
That was probably Katie's idea, to talk him into doing something crazy when we won, either dye his hair or shave his hair, but that's what we decided on was the deal. You know, if we win, we get to shave your head and each of us got a turn.
I don't know how to get a cap.
Right over there in the corner of the gym, and they had fun doing that.
He was really nervous about it, and I remember him being, you know, kind of like, oh no, you know, just hesitant about it. And I remember him wanting to do it like off to the side in the corner, like he didn't want it to be like, oh, let's have a, you know, an assembly and do it. He didn't want to do that.
And I think they each got to do a little bit. I'm thinking he's brave. Get that on his head. I wouldn't have done that.
But we had to wait until after the picture, the big picture that went on the wall. We had to wait till after that. And I think ultimately he thought we were going to forget. But we didn't forget, and it was kind of a big deal. I remember everybody getting a turn with the shears.
But I just remember Monday, Tuesday, they had an assembly to recognize the team.
The next group I want to bring out here have earned a title nobody in this school ever in any sport has earned, and that is they are the state champions.
The adrenaline crashed about Wednesday. I remember coming down to the gym and the girls were just kind of laying around. It had finally hit.
There were a lot of awards. There were a lot of presentations.
And we were able to celebrate from then on. It seemed like for the next 2 months, really until school was out, we were celebrating.
They made arrangements for us to be honored at the state capitol.
It was so rewarding to see the kids, all the kids, the team, the coaching staff, the cheerleaders, and even all the band members to be recognized at the state capitol.
The band, the team, the cheerleaders, I mean, we carried a large group up there.
Representative John White, suppose you tell our viewers what the big occasion is here at the Capitol.
Boxing today, we have with us, of course, the Lawrence County Lady Wildcats. We have the band, the cheerleaders, and a group of all-age students from the high school. And we are honoring them for their great achievement of winning the state championship. We're just so pleased to have them up today and to be a part of this, to honor them. We want all the other folks in the state of Tennessee to know how proud we are of our Lady Cats and our band members, cheerleaders.
They gave us a tour. We ate lunch in one of the house chambers, and had a big photo on the steps with the governor.
Governor Sundquist at the time.
I think the biggest one I remember for us being honored at's when with the marquee that they had downtown with the old cinema and stuff, where they had that up there.
Now please join with me as we congratulate the 1998 State of Tennessee AAA champions in girls basketball, Lawrence County High School Lady Wildcats.
Coach Shorter told us you might get a chance to say something or whatever, and I remember thanking everyone, and that was a pretty cool thing.
I remember going to the Davy Crockett Theater and being up on that stage, sitting in those chairs, and being honored and praised, and that was, I'd never had anything like that before, never anything like that since.
Earlier about Crockett Theater, you can't walk into that place and not think about all the historical things that have happened there, and that's one of them, is the championship team being recognized.
And then we also had like our banquet here where they showed a highlight video that Jack Cheatwood had made, and like Margie Mann and just people around school made that it was a really special night.
And I think we had this awesome video with music, and it was like a highlight reel.
Jackie Cheatwood was just a tremendous supporter of us. He was supportive of all things Lawrence County High School. But I know one of the things that Jackie did after the state tournament, I'd kind of put together it was a kind of a crude, primitive highlight reel with my very limited video skills. And I said, hey man, can you set this to some music? I would like to play this at the banquet. And he did that, and that the music just kind of made it jump out.
It was the Verve. It's a Bittersweet Symphony. Yes. Oh man, and every time I hear that song come on the radio, I am transported back to that banquet and just the video and the time.
It just changed the whole dynamic of the way that thing looked, and I remember that was special to the girls watching it that night.
On the rings themselves, they've got, of course, the person's name on it. They got the year that was on there. They got the position they played, and of course they had one for me too, and mine was, instead of a position, mine said BD, bus driver. And I'm probably the only one that's ever got one.
The players on that team ended up playing college basketball. Brandy signed with the University of North Alabama. Melody's signed with Freed Hardeman University, and Kayla signed with the University of the South.
Well, and Freed had reached out, and they'd stuck with me through the whole entire thing and offered a full scholarship.
I played 4 years at Swanee in college. I was the point guard. I don't know if I still hold the assist record, but I held it for several years. One year we won our conference. We tied for first in our conference. That had never been done before.
Brandy and Mel actually played each other during their time at UNA and at Freed Hardeman.
I played my freshman and sophomore year there and had great seasons. And once I got into my major, my junior and senior year, I just knew it was going to be challenging and a lot of work. And I just decided it was time to focus on school. I'm glad that I decided to try to play in college because I think I would have regretted not trying to play.
Wendy went to Columbia State, and Katie signed with the University of Louisville. I remember driving to Memphis to watch her play on Super Bowl Sunday when the Titans were in.
Then I was fortunate enough to go on and play at Tennessee Tech for 2 years, was able to finish my degree.
So, but that is quite an honor to be able to say that those starters all played that year in '98 anyway, and then even Loop, the top seven that year.
Kim Loop, who played at Martin Methodist, now UT Southern, still holds the school's scoring record after 20 seasons with 2,036 points. She also held the school record for rebounds until the 2017 season. Miranda Wallace graduated high school in 2000 and joined Wendy Hartsfield at Columbia State.
When Freed and Martin Methodist played, It would have been me and Kim playing against each other, because I know there was a few times Kim and I had to guard each other. Of course, we would trash talk one another.
Brandy's freshman year was the first winning season we had in a while. And I remember the girls saying, nobody shows up.
I mean, you still had folks that came to the game and stuff. I think most of them came in a little bit later for the boys' game.
And I just remember saying, well, let's give them something to come see.
Yes, it was nice to come into a packed gym instead of the opposite and everybody showing up late for our game.
After winning that state tournament and having fun doing it, I think for several years it gave the girls here something to strive for. You know, Arlie and Mary Beth, Shadonda, who were 8th graders, you know, when we won, it gave them that drive to want to come in and contribute and create a program, not just a team.
The expectations are high for girls basketball here at Lawrence County, so if we had a part to play in that, I think that's fantastic.
And I would remind the girls of that. There's those little eyes watching you, and there's little eyes that are watching all that you do, the good and the bad, so give them good examples.
For instance, those little eyes watching from the stands that season would have included Ashley Helton and Katie Woods, now Ashley Rutledge and Katie Embry. Those two also found themselves playing for Lawrence County in the state finals in 2002. 19 years later, they found themselves back at the Glass House in a state championship game, only this time as opposing coaches. Ashley Rutledge with Loretto and Katie Embry at Summertown, and on the bench with Embry, none other than Katie Smith Busby.
Coach Katie Embry from Summertown played at Lawrence County and played with Ashley Rutledge, the head coach at Loretto.
The championship, by the way, going to Rutledge.
One thing that really made a difference along that time also was the AAU that came along. All the schools in the county seemed to participate. And girls basketball just got better after that.
It's just nice to see that more of the, women's basketball teams are getting a little bit more support from, from the students along with the community and stuff to come out.
And one thing for me as a coach, I mean, this group was so special. You know, those last games, when you're talking in the locker room, those are tough. And I mean, with this bunch, I didn't have to have that conversation because we won the last game.
I mean, talk about life lessons. That experience, that victory, that feeling of accomplishment, and not only I, as in the players, but we, is so important for them in their life going forward. And I know those players have all went on now to become very successful adults in their own respective careers. And I have no doubt how important that moment, that night, that they won that championship played in their future.
Reflecting back 25 years ago, sometimes it seems like 25 years and sometimes it seems like yesterday. I remember telling the girls afterwards, I said, you will remember this the rest of your life. And you'll remember this experience because you will always be state champion.
I mean, it's every high school player's dream to end your career winning a game, And then for me, especially for not only winning a game, but winning an MVP of the state tournament.
And I think 25 years later, I realized how special our team was. I did realize in the moment, but I think you realize even more when you step back how rare it is for you to win a state championship. And just, the community getting involved in those feelings of, support are just, unmatched. And it's a great memory to tell my boys about and share with them. And all those girls mean so much to me. And Coach Joyner.
I just think it truly did lay the foundation for us as adults. I will never forget those memories, that time of running out on the court and just so much excitement, just pure happiness and being proud of people, never anything selfish about it. And that whole season of cheering, I just look back and I didn't think most of the time about being tired or think about myself. We were all just united there, especially towards the end.
And it's really hard to pick just one outstanding moment because each season and each group of kids have their own special moments, but that 97-98 basketball season certainly ranks up there among some of the major performances that I've had in my band career.
Well, I'd just like to let them know that Lawrence County appreciated what they done. It still means a lot.
Looking back 25 years ago, even though I don't talk to them every day, we don't hang out, but once a year or once every 2 years with some of them, they're still my best friends. And the memories we made are amazing.
Wow, 25 years after winning that state championship. I mean, it is even more special now than it was then. You know, I don't get to come back to Lawrence County very often. I don't see my teammates much at all, but I know that if I do come home and we get to see each other, you know, we pick up where we left off, and that will always be the case. Everything I've done since that moment, since graduating high school, I've always referenced back to playing basketball here. It just set the stage for so many things in my life moving forward, and I'm always grateful for that. I'm forever grateful for that.
And I just feel so blessed to have had the teammates that I had. And like I said, I feel like I had the ultimate high school experience as a player and as a student. I want my players to experience if it's just a smidget of what I was able to experience, then it makes it all worth it. And that's my goal. I feel like that allows me to give back to a community that shaped me as a person.
It really speaks a lot to what a true team can do. That if you're united in your purpose and what you want to try to accomplish, that you try to do whatever it takes from your individual standpoint. There are a lot better coaches than me out there, a lot. I was fortunate to be able to be part of that team.
I don't know, I was just so proud of those girls. To me, this is all about them. It was such a pleasure coaching that particular group. They were such a special group of girls. And I've coached a lot of girls since then, but that group was just special.
And they gave me and their teammates and the school and the town of Lawrenceburg just a thrilling experience that truly is, you know, once in a lifetime thing that you can always look back fondly. I was just blessed of the Lord to be able to be in that position and to experience that.
So for Foxy and Jim and Mickey and our whole crew, so long from Murphy Center.
Number 24,